Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Just Say Something podcast. I'm Phil Clark, CEO here at Just Say Something. And before we get started, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. With as summer begins to wind down and students prepare to head back to school, many families are focused on school supplies, schedules, transportation, and getting everyone back into a routine. Those things are important, but today I want to talk about something that often gets overlooked: the first 30 days of school. It may seem like just another month on the calendar, but those first few weeks can have a significant impact on the student's entire school year. The habits they develop, the friendships they form, the routines they establish, and the choices they make during those early days often set the tone for everything that follows. For parents, caregivers, educators, and community members, understanding the importance of those first 30 days can help us better support the young people in our lives. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, regular attendance is strongly linked to academic success, and students who establish good attendance habits early are more likely to stay engaged throughout the year. School attendance isn't just about being present in the classroom. It's about building consistency, responsibility, and connection. Those first few weeks of school are when students are learning where they fit in socially. They're identifying friend groups, reconnecting with classmates, meeting new teachers, and figuring out what kind of year they're going to have. And that's why these days matter so much. Research from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show that young people who feel connected to their school, their family, and their community are less likely to engage in risky behaviors, including substance use. That feeling of connection serves as a protective factor that can positively influence health, emotional well-being, and decision making. In other words, belonging matters. When students feel accepted, supported, and connected, they're more likely to make healthy choices. When they feel isolated, disconnected, or unsupported, they may become more vulnerable to negative influences and risky behaviors. That's why I encourage parents to pay close attention to more than just grades during the first month of school. Ask questions. Who did you sit with at lunch today? What was the best part of your day? Who seems nice in your class? Is there anything you're worried about? Those simple conversations can provide valuable insight into what your child is experiencing and feeling. One challenge we often hear from parents is that their children don't want to talk after school. They get the classic answer, fine. How was school? Fine. What did you do today? Nothing. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Sometimes the best conversations happen when there's less pressure. Talk during a drive, while cooking dinner, walking the dog, or shooting basketball in the driveway. Often, young people open up when they don't feel like they're being interrogated. The first month of school is also a great time to establish healthy routines. Sleep is one of the most important factors affecting student success. Yet it's often one of the first things sacrificed. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, school-aged children and teenagers never get adequate sleep to support learning, attention, emotional regulation, and overall health. A consistent bedtime routine may not be the most exciting topic, but it can make a tremendous difference. The same goes with limiting excessive screen time, encouraging physical activity, and making time for family connections throughout the week. Those routines create stability, and stability helps young people navigate challenges more effectively. For older students, the first month of school may also bring increased exposure to peer pressure, new social circles, new environments, and a desire to fit in can create situations where students are asked to make difficult decisions. That is why prevention conversations should start early and happen often. Not one big lecture and not one awkward conversation, a series of ongoing discussions built on trust. Young people are very much more likely to come to a parent, coach, teacher, or trusted adult when they know they can have an honest conversation without immediately being judged or punished. One of those most powerful protective factors we can offer young people is simply being present, being available, being interested, and being willing to listen. At Just Say Something, we often talk about prevention not as a single program or event, but as a community effort. Prevention happens in some homes, schools, churches, sports teams, community centers, and everyday conversations. The first 30 days of school provide an incredible opportunity to strengthen those protective factors before challenges arise. So as this school year begins, I encourage parents and caregivers to focus on more than just school supplies and schedules. Please pay attention to relationships, pay attention to routines, pay attention to emotional well-being. Take the time to connect because the habits, friendships, and support systems built during those first few weeks can influence a student's success long after the first day of school has passed. So thank you for joining me for today's episode of Just Say Something podcast. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts. Until next time, remember that prevention starts with connection, and sometimes the smallest conversations can make the biggest difference. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.